What's up, Silver Stackers? Thank you so much for being here. This is Silver Slayer, and something very interesting is happening right now. Not only is the dollar weakening and silver starting to rally from this, but platinum and palladium fall. Not only that, though, something even more interesting and shocking is happening. And I think this is the start of what I have been talking about. Now, to dive deeper, we'll have to switch to another article. This article is talking about how silver rises as the US dollar weakens, platinum and palladium fall. But what about gold? Well, it's interesting because I've been talking about how silver is going to start taking on a life beyond gold. Regardless of what gold does, silver is going to do what it does because silver is not only a monetary metal, it's an industrial metal, where gold is solely a monetary metal. Well, look what is starting to happen. Although silver usually tracks gold's footsteps, currently it is seeing far more gains than gold, which is up only around 2.3% this week. This is largely driven by falling silver inventories, as well as the fact that even when increasing, silver is still far cheaper than gold. Hence, the recessionary fears looming and investors rushing towards safe haven assets, silver is the more affordable choice. And I don't even think it's more so the affordable choice is why people invest into it. I think people just realize there's more opportunity. Are you going to invest into something that is strictly a monetary metal that has no scarcity, that has no opportunity to really skyrocket in the next 10 years, given the fact that we're headed into a green era, a digital technological era where silver is used in everything and gold not so much. Gold is used as a store of value, right? It's a great store of value, and that's why we determine a country's wealth on how much gold they have. It's a great store of value. But in terms of profit, in terms of these two, commodities moving up in price, silver has a lot more opportunity. It's funny how these two metals prices are so directly correlated when they're used for two completely different reasons. And what's even funnier is that gold is 90 times more valuable than silver when silver's 90 times more useful than gold is. Gold is used for jewelry, necklaces, watches, earrings, bars, coins, right? It's used mainly for that, as money. It's a monetary metal. Silver is the exact opposite. Silver is used in everything in the everyday world, especially as we expand digitally over the next 10 years and be way beyond that. And there's not enough of it. So if you're looking at something in terms of, of its essential uses, the value makes more sense to go in silver's favor over the next 10 plus years, especially when you look at how scarce it is, the supply deficit. So anyways, I thought that little paragraph was very telling, and I did want to bring the question to the table as, do you think that this could be the start of silver, taking on its own footsteps beyond gold, right? It usually does track gold's footsteps, which could be a good thing. But also remember, when we're talking about these two metals, I like to compare it to a volcano. Gold already exploded. Gold's volcano already erupted. It broke past $2,000 an ounce, the highest price it's ever been, literally ever been. Silver, though, when that was happening, wasn't even half of its highest value. So silver's volcano hasn't really erupted yet. And it always does follow gold's footsteps. It just lags a little bit, even lags beyond these other metals. So you got to remember that silver will catch up, and when it does catch up, it could follow through tenfold. It's like all the magma building up inside the volcano. The longer it waits, the more magma builds up and the bigger the explosion is going to be, especially given that silver not only is a monetary metal, but it's also an industrial metal, given the fact of also why this paragraph says largely driven by falling silver inventories, as well as the fact that when the price is increasing, so everyone hops on the silver bandwagon. Not only just you and I and your neighbor, but also the industrial sector. as we already exceeded 1.12 billion ounces this year. Imagine how many billions of ounces we'll need in the next 5 to 10 years, and how realistic that's going to be to accomplish that type of demand with an already diminishing supply. It's not possible. And that's why my name is Silver Slayer and not Gold Slayer. But anyways, I did want to go into this article because it was written yesterday, August 3rd, so it shows a little more context into what's happening. Precious metals were fairly mixed on Wednesday morning, with gold and silver up following a recent weakness in the US dollar. And this is the funniest part. Gold and silver is going to be up because the dollar's down, but then next week the dollar is going to start rising and precious metals will be down. It's just it's a never-ending roller coaster, and that's why the people that are investing emotionally on the day-to-day basis drive themselves crazy, because they're like, oh, the dollar's going up. This means I need to sell. This was a bad idea. The dollar's starting to, take over. But then next week, the tables are turned, and the dollar's, starting to gain weakness, and then people are like, oh, what was I thinking? Or they start regretting that they made a bad decision. Just buy silver, buy it from legit big bullion dealers like Bullion Max and, Abmex and stuff. Throw it in your safe. And by the way, if you didn't see my video I posted yesterday, I highly recommend it. I purposely purchased $4,356.42 worth of gold and silver, and it's all fake. All of it's fake. So go check that video out. It's extremely educational and pretty funny. A lot of people didn't watch the first 15 seconds to realize that I said I was kidding in the beginning, because I pretended like I got scammed. And then 10 seconds later, I said I'm kidding. It just shows how many people just click on a video and start commenting right away without even watching the first 15 seconds. But regardless, it's a very good video. But anyways, yeah, and we could even compare this to, platinum and palladium, right? It says, on the other hand, platinum and palladium were down due to increased geopolitical tension between U.S. and China, spurred by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's recent Taiwan visit. So metals are kind of doing all these different things. Usually you'll see, all green across the board, or you'll see similar patterns. But now you're seeing silver do something, beyond gold, and you're seeing platinum and palladium do their own thing beyond gold and silver as well. I think that nowadays there's so many things happening. Markets are, all these different, metals and markets are kind of being pushed and pulled to different degrees. At the end of the day, they all somewhat go in the same direction. I mean, if you ever, look at a chart, it's pretty similar, but I do still, and this is the question I want to bring to the table, is I do still think that silver is going to start taking on a life of its own sooner than later. Regardless of what gold's doing, silver's going to do what it does, because what silver is useful for, what silver has the potential in, gold has no place in. Yes, there's a small amount of gold in laptops and cell phones. I used to scrap gold out of cell phones myself. But when we're into the Green New Deal, deep into it in the next 5 or so years, and silver's needed for everything, what gold's going to be sitting on the sidelines? That's not going to be affecting the price of gold. Silver is going to be the thing that's going to be moving in price, because silver's the shortage. There is no spot prices for gold. There's no premiums for gold, because gold isn't scarce. The opportunity lies within silver. That's why it's called Wall Street Silver. That's why it's, there's such a big silver stacking community on YouTube. Why my name is Silver Slayer. That's why. It makes a lot more sense. I do want to make it clear, though, that I still think gold is a great investment. Anything that has intrinsical value within itself, detached from the dollar, is a great investment. Precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, copper, whatever, is a great investment because you can hold it. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. But I do want to pass the question to you. I always tell you why I think silver is a better investment than gold. But why do you choose silver over gold? Why are you in the silver stacking community? Or is it an even split? Do you buy silver and gold? Do you think there's not one that's better than the other? Or do you think that silver is better than gold, and why? I'd love for you to answer why. Don't just say, I like silver more than gold. If you don't explain why, you're not saying much, right? I really want you guys to spark this conversation in the comment section as well. But I'm going to show you the 1 year chart of silver and gold. So here is the 1 year chart. You can see both of these. It's pretty similar. You could see around, this time frame, January 2022, things got a lot more rocky. You could also see right here, gold broke past $2,000, right? This is gold's volcano. It exploded. Silver's volcano, you could see, did nothing there. Silver was sitting at $26, while gold was breaking above $2,000. And actually, when you look at silver when it was at, what was it, $11 in March of 2020. Here, let me go back. I wish this could zoom out. Hold on. Let me go to March of 2020 when silver was $11. Hold on. It's right here. Look at this. Silver is around $11 in March of 2020. $11. That's around the time. And then look at gold. Right, March of 2020. Let me go there. So, hold on. So gold's sitting at around, gold's still around 1,500-ish, and it was up to around 1,700. The gold to silver ratio was 125 to 1. That means it takes 125 ounces of silver to equal or equate to 1 ounce of gold. That is the most, how could I? That is the, that's the most undervalued silver's ever been compared to gold throughout history. We'll be reading about this in the history books. That is the most incredible thing to note about this is silver was $11 2 years ago. So when we're looking at $20 silver and saying, wow, silver's down so bad, it went from $11 to nearly $30 in a year. So if we're sitting at $20 and you're worried about this, imagine what 1 year down the line could be now. But also think about 5 years down the line. Think about 10 years. When are you planning on selling? If you're not planning on selling tomorrow or the next month, then you shouldn't have any problem with $20 silver, even $10 silver. Because remember, even if silver was $11 right now, if you want to look at what silver did in March of 2020, within a year it's up to 30, triple. So if it's $11 right now, in a year it could be triple. If it's $20 right now, in a year it could be 60. The whole point is you got to step back and look at the bigger picture, because when you get sucked in to the day-to-day, let's go back to the March of 2020. When silver was sitting down at $11 right here, I was telling everyone to buy silver. Look at this. It was up to $30. It went from March 2020, it's 11. And then by August 2020, it's 30. Everyone was panic selling right here. See this huge dip? That's all sell-offs. People sold down to $11. I was telling you guys, don't sell, because the gold to silver ratio is 120 something to 1, and silver's going to outperform gold. Anytime the ratio's that high, it's going to correct, because it's incorrect. It's way out of whack, and it always does correct back down. It always does. It doesn't just always go up. It's not going to go 125 to 150. When it goes from, 90 or 80, 90 to 125, it's going to come back down sooner than later. So we knew that silver was going to start outperforming gold. It was a given, but everyone's selling, not realizing that, not listening to me. And then look what happens. It starts to correct like it always does. Silver starts to outperform gold. It's $30 within only a few months later, and all those people that sold at $11 are kicking themselves in the butt. But all the people that were buying at $11 just tripled their money, right? Their stack just tripled in value within a couple of months. Buy low, sell high. Don't buy high, sell low, right? It's supposed to be buy the dips, sell the tops. Don't buy up here while everyone else is buying up here and then sell down here, right? Most people, and that's the funniest part, most people were buying silver, right? I could guarantee 85% more people were buying at $30 than down at 11. Most people were selling or just holding off right here. Very worried. While up here, everyone's buying it. Isn't that funny how that works? That's the psychological aspect. That's why you gotta take the emotion out of it, because that's when everyone hops on board, and that's not the right time to buy. That's when you hold off, or if you want to sell. I wouldn't ever sell at 30 because it's not, silver's worth way more. But if you did want to take a couple percent off the top, you could do so because you know that it's the highest it's been in several years. You know that it's probably going to correct back down to 20 something for a couple of years. So, whatever. But regardless, though, moral of the story is silver's starting to take on a life beyond gold. And I'm curious if you guys think so too. And also why you think silver is better than gold. I don't even like saying silver's better than gold. I just prefer silver over gold. Gold and silver are both great investments for two completely different reasons. I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you did like the video, please give it a like. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. I post daily videos every single day. I'm not going to ask you to like the video and subscribe in the first minute because you don't even know if you like the video yet. You don't even know if you want to subscribe to my channel yet. So I'm not going to beg you to do that. I don't like when people do that. I mean, it's a habit for YouTubers, but still, let the audience, let the viewer at least make a choice themselves. Don't just tell them to like a video they don't even know if they're going to like yet. I'd rather you guys make that choice on your own. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I will put the link to this article in the description like always. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.